Today, we're comparing two in blue from Geneva upstarts with a combined 29 years of existence. That's right, it's the FP Journe Chronometre Bleu versus the Laurent Ferrier Galet Micro-Rotor. Now, these two companies have issued watches dramatically different in tech spec, but so similar in size and style and pre-owned value that it's become a natural matchup. New manufacturers with already huge followings. Today, FP Journe versus Laurent Ferrier. Journe, established in 1999, is our unlikely senior party to this comparison. The already iconic Chronometre Bleu, launched in 2009, happened to defy a worldwide recession. The simplest Journe achieved riotous acclaim and enthusiasm that continues unabated nearly a decade later. And with only about 100 to 150 units crafted each year, the Chronometre Bleu has never boasted a longer wait list than it enjoys at this very moment. 39mm sounds like 1990s talk, but the 2000s are dead, and FP Journe heard the death knell of the 42mm dress watch earlier than most. The form of the Chronometre Bleu case is a thinner and finer execution of the design that's almost universal among Journe's standard collections. More dependent on curves than creases, there is a fluidity to the CB case that appears timeless without courting too many conventions. It will never be confused with the Patek Calatrava. Most important is the overlap of the bezel and the case back beyond the mid-case. These two junctions provide greater definition to the horizontal case band than the lugs themselves. All of it unites at the lugs to tie the package together. The lugs are sculpted and sinuous, with both sharp downward tug from the caseband and tumble home to the sides when viewed head-on. Tantalum is a hypoallergenic material discovered in 1801 and rarely employed in the watch industry. Refinishers hate it, tool makers hate it, watchmakers mostly hate it, but customers love it, and FP Journe himself is a fan. Polished tantalum is a beast to achieve. I've toured Boîtier de Genève, Journe's case factory, and I wasn't permitted to see this trade secret. Apparently, the case refinisher and finisher, who showed a reporter at some point in the past, found it didn't go too well with the boss, and you wouldn't like him when he's angry. Wait, wrong watch, back on topic. Okay, how big of a pain is it to deal with this stuff? 9 years after Journe struck gold with tantalum, you can count on one hand how many other brands are following that lead. In the hand and on the wrist, tantalum imparts the heft of precious metal with an otherworldly gray intensity that defies easy comparison to other materials. These properties account for one half of the legend of the Chronometre Bleu. A double-sided blue gaiter strap offers the more expensive and durable leather on both sides rather than calf on one, and pull-tab spring bars make swaps a snap. Curved spring tabs cinch the strap flush to the case without impeding articulation. Behold the bleu in Chronometre Bleu. Tantalum provides the body, but the dial is the soul of this watch. With a seemingly impossible blend of soft lacquer gloss and severe metallic gleam, the CB dial is a brand-defining component for Journe. Although historically provided by a series of suppliers, the dial now is produced in-house by Journe at Cadronnier de Genève, his dial manufacturer. I've seen how it's made, and if I told you, I'd have to kill you before Francois Paul kills me. Again, like the polished tantalum case, ask how many competitors have managed to reproduce this finishing effect despite the years-long opportunity to target and poach Journe's considerable dealer waitlists. While the genesis of each dial base is a secret, the handsome vanilla accents define the printed graphics and hands. It's not a faux patina play, just an ingenious color complement to the radiant blue base. Vintage elements like the railroad minutes and off-center sub-seconds with azurage cut are juxtaposed to Journe's signature biomorphic tapered hands and postmodern quirks like the shrunken 7 and 8. And yes, FP Journe invented and made it. The Chronometre Bleu is powered by a movement to match its moniker. Despite the industry norm that Swiss watches only carry the words chronometer or chronometre if their movements have passed inspection by the COSC's authority, Montre Journe flouts this convention and insists that its watches actually surpass the COSC and that you take their word for it. Caliber 1304 is a 56-hour manual wind movement. Per the nomenclature, 13 is the size in French ligne, and 04 is the year work started on this movement. A more complex version is seen in the Chronomètre Souverain. The layout is dominated by a balance propelled by a hidden drivetrain and twin mainspring barrels in parallel. Double barrels are present for the purpose of providing an even full-duration torque supply to the escapement rather than a show-stopping power reserve. The solid gold 18-karat bridges and plates feature a luxurious barley corn and perlage plate finish with linear Côte de Genève across the bridges. 6-position adjustment is exceptional and nominally surpasses the COSC's 5-slot test. My COSC-style 5-slot spot check of Journe's work produced an admirable 24-hour loss of 1.6 seconds. Laurent Ferrier's 37 years at Patek Philippe included a long stint as senior developer of complications and flagship models, but Laurent Ferrier, the firm, has existed since 2008, launched its first product in 2010, and issued today's subject, the Galet Micro-Rotor, in 2012. Steel has been an option since 2015. True, Pebble smartwatches are no more, but en français, le Galet, the Pebble, is alive and well at Laurent Ferrier. Like a stream-weathered pebble, all lines flow together, each curve segues to another curve, and the seamless integration of bezel and case imparts the look of a monoblock structure. Teardrop lugs, with a pronounced terminal tuck, are the most distinctive flourish of the caseband. The caseband flattens slightly to a narrow horizontal strip that unites the lugs, but it lacks the strength of the Journe's sandwich profile. The Galet is defined by volume and curves, where the Journe is defined by color and sharp character lines. The lush volume of the crown contrasts dramatically with the flat pocket watch-inspired unit of the Journe. Laurent Ferrier fits a shapely steel buckle that echoes the form of the lugs, and the Galet strap pairs an alligator top with a suede calfskin underlay. Laurent Ferrier's ice blue dial is new for 2018. Rather than the sheer intensity of the CB dial, the Galet's icy blue visage wins friends with nuance. The white gold assegai, or spear hands, are sensational works of miniature sculpture. Matching arrowhead indices are applied with white gold at 3, 9, and 12 o'clock. A subtle sector pattern in white rewards close reading, and there's even a railroad minute scale outboard of the sector hours. A double-stepped small seconds provides depth and a distinct texture that intensifies the metallic blue base. Laurent Ferrier's caliber FBN 22901 automatic is a stunner by any measure, technically, artisanally, and artistically. Like Journe's 1304, the layout of the movement was designed in equal measure to look good and work well. It's a 72-hour automatic that employs a unique unidirectional micro-rotor with jeweled staff and double ratchets. It's both silent and efficient. Thanks to the micro-rotor, the entirety of this automatic caliber can be appreciated. More than a pretty face, this caliber is packed with advanced tech. The Breguet natural escapement inspired the FBN's unlubricated dual direct impulse escapement. Its goal is maximal energy transfer and minimal frictional loss. The two impulse wheels are LIGA products of nickel phosphorus, and the lock that alternates between them is a silicon structure. An overcoil and 6-position adjustment complete the refinements. Journe does offer similar tech, but you'll pay a minimum of $86,400 for the Journe Chronometre Optimum to join that party. Speaking of parties, several of them are responsible for this Ferrier movement. The FBN nomenclature acknowledges the involvement of Louis Vuitton movement specialist Fabrice Dutemps, a previous employer of Christian Ferrier, Laurent's son, and a technical partner of his father's namesake brand. Some combination of the two companies produces the finished product. Ferrier's own literature only claims that the movements are assembled and regulated in-house. Fabrication and finishing likely are conducted externally to some extent, but that finishing does surpass what Journe is offering. FP Journe Chronometre Bleu advantages. A modern-day icon, an unqualified success. Its place in history is secure. It will never fall out of fashion. You know greatness when you see it, and this is the like. If you're willing to wait, the $22,800 retail price of a CB easily undercuts the $40,000 new or $30,000 to $35,000 pre-owned of the steel Galet. It walks the walk just as it talks the talk. In practice, I've been able to verify Journe's chronometre performance claim. The Ferrier, not so much. Between the tantalum case and the rose gold of the caliber, you feel, eyes closed, how massive the CB is. It's gratifying and a pleasure. Francois Paul is as good as his word. There's nothing in this movement that won't be serviceable 50 years hence. The Ferrier, not so much. That scintillating dial is also easier to read by a huge margin than the Galet's ice blue haze. Laurent Ferrier Galet Micro-Rotor advantages. Fans of finish will find more to love here, regardless of who actually executes the work. Ferrier's bridge anglage, jewel sinks, screw sinks, abundance of black polish, and affinity for sharp interior angles blows away the more rudimentary CB. If this watch is in a rotation of a collector, the 72-hour power reserve can save you some grief extra day or so. From a technical standpoint, this movement is a tour de force. While the Journe offers a more intense dial, the Ferrier offers greater depth from the gold indices to the pit of its double-stepped subseconds. Production of the Laurent Ferrier line is almost certainly higher than the claimed 150 to 200 pieces per year, but Laurent Ferrier's output likely remains below Journe's 650 to 900 total per annum. Okay, now my choice. If you ask anyone around my office, you'll discover that I'm an intense dude with no off switch. The last time I met FP Journe, we clashed a bit, and when I see his watches, my mind always turns back to that experience. Concerning the Ferrier, it reminds me that I love beauty in design, in execution. It's always best when the finished product, however beautiful, is crafted by hand, and this is. This kind of virtuoso performance is in evidence throughout the Galet, and I'm in love with the four interior angles within the anglage of the balance half bridge. But I confess that I saw a lot of my own stubbornness in Journe, and I see a lot of myself reflected in the mirror blue dial of his watch. Make mine the Chronometre Bleu, and maybe Francois Paul will buy drinks next time we meet.